An explosion happened at a plant in Fukushima Prefecture, which collapsed the roof over one of the nuclear reactors. CNN's Stan Grant is in Tokyo. Stan, we know the area around that plant has now been evacuated. Has actually calmed the fears of a nuclear leak, or has actually added to it?
Well, this evacuation zone has been increasing throughout the day, which has raised concerns about just how great the threat is. And is that threat also increasing? First, it was a bit over a mile, 3 kilometres, then it was 10 kilometres, about 6 miles. It's been doubled now to 20 kilometres. So that has been increasing along with the threat, along with the attempts and the foiled attempts so far to be able to bring any impact on these reactors that are overheating. They haven't been able to get the coolant in there to try to cool this down. Now, of course, that was affected after power supply was knocked out by the earthquake yesterday. It really reached a peak, this nuclear emergency, with the explosion this afternoon. 4 people were injured. We're still awaiting news about just how seriously. But we understand now, according to the Nuclear Safety Agency, that this was a hydrogen explosion. It was not an explosion related to the reactor itself. They say that no harmless materials were released into the atmosphere. They say there has been no recorded increase in radioactivity since that explosion. The Prime Minister, Naoto Kan, has also said that no one has yet been affected by radioactivity. But the same agency, the nuclear officials here, also saying that some radioactive material was released into the atmosphere that happened earlier today. It was recorded at 8 times higher than the normal level just outside the perimeter of the plant. But again, they're saying that is not enough to cause any problems to the people in the vicinity. But as I say, they have increased that throughout the day, and now you have this 20-kilometre, 12, 13-mile exclusion zone. Andrew?
The good news, obviously, that was a hydrogen explosion and not related to the reactor stand. But, I mean, to the best of your knowledge and the people you've been talking to, what do we know about what is actually going on with those reactors then? Because we hear sort of different reports. The government seems to be downplaying it a little bit, and many of the experts that we've been talking to say this is a race against time. This is an incredibly serious issue right now.
Certainly it's a serious issue. You know, you're getting into uncharted territory here. You have, of course, the impact of the quake, but now this nuclear emergency as well. And it is an emergency, declared an emergency by the government. They're not taking it lightly, but at the same time, they don't want to see people panic here as well. And they are saying that the radioactive levels that have a radioactivity that has seeped out into the atmosphere have been at levels that are not going to cause harm. But here's the problem. You see, what happens here is that the water level drops and the reactors are exposed. Now, those reactors generate enormous heat. That's how you power the electricity that the steam electricity comes from. They exposed and they overheat. If they can't get enough water in there to cool it, that puts more pressure and more prospect of these fuel casings, these rods melting down, and that's creating more radioactive material which could head into the atmosphere. So that's what they're really trying to do, get more water in there to try to cool these reactors down. 24 hours, more than 24 hours later, they've been unable to do that, Andrew.